I'm here with Dr. Shabir Muez, who was born in Kabul and received his ophthalmology specialization there. First of all, if you could just introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your work in Kabul.
So my name is Shabir Muez, and actually I born in Kabul, Afghanistan. So I start my school and my university, and also I got my ophthalmology residency, ophthalmology specialization from the Noor Eye Hospital in Kabul. And after that, I started working as an ophthalmologist in Noor Eye Hospital, and also I work in Ramus Eye Hospital, which is a private eye hospital in Afghanistan. And also I work in an organization, which the organization was a non-governmental organization, which it was HealthNet TPO, which they conducted a RAP survey. RAP survey is a rapid assessment of avoidable blindness, which it was for the first time in Kabul. And I was worked there as an ophthalmologist. So after that, I got my short-term fellowship in pediatric ophthalmology from Germany in Saarland University Hospital.
Well, Shabir, I guess that means that for a good portion of your career, you were an ophthalmologist under the circumstances of war in Afghanistan. So what was that like?
It's really, really tough, and it is very hard to study currently in Afghanistan. But the time which I finished my university and I got my ophthalmology specialization, so the war in Afghanistan was not too much high rate, but we were safe in Kabul, but the other provinces was not safe. It is very hard to have a hope to start your study and have a hope to finish your study to help your people in future. We always keep continuing our desire and thinking about our future. And finally, I got my specialization certificate from Afghanistan.
Well, that's very impressive that you were able to make it out and make such a career for yourself. I'm sure that must have been terribly difficult. Now, Shabir, in the current circumstances, what do you imagine is happening to the world of ophthalmology in Kabul right now?
Currently, the ophthalmology situation in Afghanistan is not too good because most of the people are suffering from the eye diseases, but they cannot go to the ophthalmologist. They cannot go out from their houses for doing their eye examinations and to take care of their eyes. Today, I spoke with one of my colleagues, and he told me that we are staying in home today, and we have not gone to the hospital to do our works usually, because the situation is not normal and no one take the responsibility of security of everyone in the capital. So right now, I feel that ophthalmology is not in a good situation in Afghanistan.
You know, as the Taliban are bearing down, by the way, on Kabul, what are likely some of the changes that the world of ophthalmology will face? For example, I don't know if there were any female ophthalmologists in Kabul that now may have to stop practicing as a result. Is that possible?
Yes, of course. As you know, this is the rule of the Taliban to not allow the women to start working or to treat a patient, even if they are a doctor. We have 210 ophthalmologists in Afghanistan, which 10 of them are female ophthalmologists. So I know it is very hard for our ophthalmologists to run their profession and to start working in private hospitals.
Do you have any idea what they may do, whether they would likely stay in the country or try to get out overseas?
So now everybody is at home and nobody can take a decision to get out of the country because it is impossible. All the embassies are shut down and there's no any visa issuance. And most of them didn't have passport. Everything is closed down. Even I talked with my friend today, which he was not too good, and he could not talk with me, and he said that, oh, I'm like dreaming, and I can't imagine it is real. So absolutely, and unfortunately, it is a very bad situation, and they have no choice. So I'm very sad for them.
And by the way, you yourself made it out of Afghanistan. How did you, decide to go, and when did you leave the country?
Actually, when I finished uh, my International Council of Ophthalmology fellowship in Germany, when I finished my fellowship, I went back to my country to start my profession and to start helping my people with whatever I learned from Germany, which it was really a good fellowship for me on that time. And on 2019, I came back from Germany, which I faced in a problem, which I just ran this survey to the regional of the Kabul city. So I faced with a problem. So I cannot share that, but definitely that was a serious harm for my life, and I decided to leave everything, like my profession, my family, my friends, my relatives, and my country. And it is very hard to decide such things, to leave everything which you one day you was like you was trying to be an ophthalmologist, a famous ophthalmologist, and to help the people. You will place in a situation to leave everything and to go to a country which there is nothing, and you have to start from zero.
Mm.
So, so definitely, I left Afghanistan in 2019, and I came to Australia. Which on that time I had the Australian visa, so my Schengen visa was expired, and I had the chance to come here. No countries I had the visa. So
Okay.
I fled from Afghanistan and I came to Australia. And so on 2019. So I have been here since 2019, and I faced lots of problems, lots of challenges. So it is very hard to start ophthalmology here. Definitely, I start from a very simple job, and I did the Uber Eats food delivery, which it is something unbelievable for people who they talk with me and they know that who am I. I just keep secret, and I just cover my background of education. So I started to do the Uber Eats food delivery for 1 year, and then I started working in carpet installation, which is very hard. It was very heavy, which it also affected my backbone, which uh, I have to do that because in Australia it is very hard to maintain yourself and to stay in Australia. It is very hard. You have to find money and you have to work. Besides of that, I didn't ever lost my hope. I started study, and I start every night I studied online, and at the morning I start working. At least I had my own security. At least I was safe here. After that, I finished to study the optical dispensing course here, which it is one of the small aspect or a small field of ophthalmology, which it is related to the ophthalmology, which you help the people with their frame of the glasses, you help the people with the type of the lenses, you help the people with their contact lenses. So one of the optometrists, which I am really happy from her, and she helped me to get to her own business, which she is Dr. Sojin Nam, and I'm really happy for her, which she really helped me to take my hand, and she get me a chance to start my profession or in optical dispensing role. I'm just trying to get some qualification, another qualification to just run my job and to stay in Australia. But definitely, my main goal is to become an ophthalmologist in future. But I also contacted lots of ophthalmologists in Australia. Most of them was very kind, and they helped me, and and they told me how to go through the specialization pathway, which I found it very hard and very difficult. So yeah, that was my story in Australia, which no one can believe that. And I didn't share this one with anyone of my friends in Afghanistan. So it doesn't matter who you are, just do anything, any positions, any jobs, but keep to reach to your goal. Keep to think about your goal and think about your desire to become to get success in your life.
Well, Shabir, I'm sure that now looking back when you were rolling carpets in Australia, you could easily say it was well worth it, because I'm sure your situation is vastly better today than it is for a lot of young Afghans, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course. Right now it is very easy for me to talk about this one. Right now it is very easy to talk about this story because, but in action, if you see, it is very hard to think and believe, to imagine, because I have already had my own future in Afghanistan. So I had my own profession, and everything was gone, and I start from the zero. It is very hard, but the main point is that, which I left my daughter in Afghanistan, and yeah, and still she is in Afghanistan, and she really missed me, and I missed her. It's very hard to stay away from my family.
Well, someday perhaps you could be a bridge for her, and so it's still, there's still hope in that situation, perhaps more hope than many others. Certainly wish you and your family all the best.
I hope so. I really miss my family, my relatives, and my friends. And every day, my daughter asks me that when you came back home, it's very hard to answer the question. So the people who they have their own kids, they know and they understand me that how it's hard to be away from your family.
Yeah.
And right now they are not too safe, and the Taliban already get the control of my country. So today I spoke with them, and they were not in a good situation, and they already scared and say that where should we go, and we are alone and we don't have any way. So I hope everything getting well.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Shabir, for this difficult time of yours. All I can think is that maybe somehow, some way, your story will inspire so many others in our field of eye care. Really, it's inspiring to think about how in your time you were a bridge to the rest of the world from Afghanistan, and you still are. You are now even. We're talking here, aren't we?
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for crying here in your program, and I'm so sorry for that. So I hope so everything going well, and I hope and I pray for my family, my friends, my relatives which they are over there, and I know how that situation they have.